So I was in a job interview process and I was told that they were missing to see some interior environment pieces in my portfolio. So I looked through my portfolio and I think I hadn't really thought about it until now that I don't have any interior pieces, like all my environments are exterior. And a little side note, did I think that I needed like an interior piece to showcase that I could work with interior art? Not really. But the thing is, like, this is also unfortunately where the market is now, that you have so many candidates that they eventually just have to go with, well, this person did exactly the thing that we're looking for, so we're going to go with that. But anyway, so back to the background of the concept. I've seen a lot of cute interior isometric environments here and there on social media, and I thought, why not? I can just make a small room. It might not even have to use textures. They could just have material colors. That would be a pretty small contained project, right? So this part will now regard moving away from AI and just allowing yourself to use your own shitty sketches. So I have a confession to make. I am terrible at drawing buildings, like worse than Austrian painter bad. So back when I started thinking of this concept, which was like 2024, I was seeing the results people were getting from AI, and I thought, wow, that is pretty cool. I was, of course, comparing it to my own art, and I was like, fuck, I spent so many years on this, and people are a button away from creating something so much better than myself. Like, admittedly, AI wasn't making the most creative images.
It feels reductive.
But in terms of rendering, it was easily outclassing anything I've ever done. So then I figured that since this was supposed to be a short project, I didn't want to put in too much time on a concept, especially on a concept that wasn't turning out that good. And because I felt AI was doing a much better job than me in this regard, I felt like I would give it a go. But after a couple of iterations with I came to a point where a lot of the things it was generating didn't make any fucking sense. Like, it could create a beautiful staircase that leads to a platform that's hanging in the air. There's a bed that's maybe outside, maybe inside, who knows. At this point, I come to the conclusion I want this to be mine. Even if I suck at drawing, it will be mine. So when I start thinking about the concept, I ask myself, who lives here? What is his story? How does he move between spaces? What has happened in his life? What does he like to do? And how does this shape his home? So I decided that the man who lives here is named Pomelesco. He is a retired marine biologist who spent his life traveling the world and settled down in his hometown somewhere in southern Europe. There are a couple of things that are influencing his home because he is a marine biologist and spent a lot of his time on the ocean. There are a lot of things in his home that will be ocean themed. But I'm also imagining that he wants to try something else now when he's becoming older. So he spends a lot of time gardening. And I'm also just thinking that he might have like a little birdhouse. I didn't really like the idea of a a person who spent his time on the open sea to want to incarcerate birds. So I made this like little open cage concept for the birds. Um, and I'm also imagining that all the research that he did throughout his life is still present in his life. So the house is also full of books, documents, everything. Um, The last thing that I would also think about is like that he might have a ferret. Don't ask me why. I just like that idea of animal companionship. The ferret has his own little bed, and he has like miniature versions of what Pomelesco has. So the thing is, like, I am spending a lot of times in details that I'm realizing that a lot of people will never ever see. But I think these small kind of details, even though you're not actively looking at them, they do kind of like contribute to the overall vibe of the piece. And like, I think this is what you can get that the AI kind of misses. As cheesy as it might sound, like the soul aspect and the devil in the details. Like when I'm designing a desk and wanting to change it up, I went back to Pomelesco, marine biologist. Maybe the handles are like fish shaped. Maybe the part of his staircase is fish shaped. Maybe the facade of the house has like waves. All right, so we have reached the end of the video covering the background and concept of Pomelesco's Panacotta, and I hope to see you next video.